everybody, welcome back to Building SouthLake. So today we're going to be working on a new apartment building I actually started the other day because I wanted to come up with some new designs for SouthLake, and I came up with a couple good designs over by the park area. But before we go over to that, I need to make sure I do this today because I forgot it last week, and that is the subscriber of the week. Now I told you guys last week, if you watched that episode, that we didn't do one because I was really busy, so I'd make it up to you guys by doing two this week. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if we come in here, the first one is by Harper Hill. So again, if you guys want to be in the locker rooms basically in SouthLake, all you have to do is just keep watching videos, sharing videos, commenting, and doing things like that. That's the best way. So Harper Hill, make sure I got that right. And then we're gonna do prototype. Actually, let's do Sam Lays. So excuse me, I looked at the wrong one. So we have Sam, S-A-M, and then make sure we spell it right, space, L-A-Y-E-S. So Y-E-S. Is that correct? It is. So Sam Lays and Harper Hill, thank you guys very much for watching the videos. It is greatly appreciated. So how about now we go start working on those buildings I was telling you guys about, which I will show you guys them first because they're actually they're more skyscraper-ish. I want them to be like that. There's one of the guys on the world that's looking around. So if we fly all the way over here through all of these different buildings, we have quite a bit of buildings now. I think we have like over probably 50 so far, and there's still plenty more to be added. So you can kind of see them popping in now, and they're right here. So I think I like this one the most so far. I don't know, there's something about it that looks really unique about it, and it actually feels like a modern apartment building. And these are both going to be apartments right here. Basically, like, they're going to be right on the river, so I wanted to make them really nice and kind of have like that special feel to them. This one is actually from the internet. It wasn't made in Minecraft. It was actually made in, I think, Google SketchUp. And I tried to make it, you know, like recreate it a little bit. So for this one, we need, let's see. So gray stained glass. I think we need some black as well. We need... This is the problem about making some of these buildings and not finishing them is you got to remember which materials you have to use. So we need birch fence, which is I believe is new as well. We need blue glass panes. As you guys can tell, we finally have stained glass, which I was a little disappointed that I wish the stained glass was a little bit darker, because right here is gray stained glass, and just look how like it looks so close just to similar glass, which kind of upsets me. Even the black glass, which is right here, it just looks very similar. I wish it was a little bit darker so you could actually tell the difference. But, you know, I'm still happy that we finally got it. It still does improve how you can make things. And then we need cobblestone walls. Probably need some other things along the way, but I think we should be fine for now. Alright, now let's try to remember how to make this. I believe it's 7 wide this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, correct? Looks correct. And let's build up. Yeah, but I'm actually really happy with probably this building the most. There's something about it, like I mentioned earlier, that it kind of has that modern feel to it. Because one of the problems with modern so much is the fact that modern is one of those things that's really hard to make fit in with everything else in the city, especially when you have like a realistic city or traditional city. So modern's one of those things that it's very hard to make it fit in with everything else, and that's why you've probably seen me go away from modern a little bit to an extent, like ultra modern, that is, not like just regular modern, but ultra modern is just really hard to fit in with everything else. And I kind of feel like this is just modern. It's not ultra modern. It's kind of hard to say like so many times for some reason, or I'm just stupid. Probably that one. But yeah, so I kind of like this one. I love the elevator going up, and I think I actually got that design from Huntington on their stadium, which I really liked. I wanted to try to incorporate that into an actual building itself, and I think I did that pretty well. And it's unique, and I think that's probably the main thing I like about it. So, and it's a tall building. I mean, because I know I told you guys I wanted to go away from more skyscrapers and kind of go more, you know, to lower buildings, mainly so I can transition smoothly from, you know, some of the smaller buildings to just regular buildings. So we should be at 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, we're good. Let me make sure. I got this right, so boom. Okay, so we should be good. So now we just need this, so we need to have this one here. So we need a cobblestone wall going down the middle. And if you are curious about what materials I am using for this apartment building, oh, I forgot glass here. I am using light gray stained clay, birch fence, blue stained glass, quartz slabs, cobblestone walls, but the main thing is I'm using light gray stained clay and with gray stained glass. That's probably the main thing I'm using for this. So if you do want to try to recreate this, those are the materials. If you do want to recreate it, you know, you don't have to use the same materials, because depending on the texture pack you use, you know, different things like that, it might look completely different. So kind of keep that in mind if you are wanting to recreate it. So last week was just a very busy week. If you usually follow my channel, I didn't upload as many videos last week. I didn't really follow the schedule that I set for, you know, my new weekly schedule last week, and mainly because I was really busy. And basically why I was really busy was, now I can talk about this because it's actually finally done, is I got a new car, and I was, you know, talking with so many dealerships just over the past weeks. So that's why I was really busy. I still had class and everything going on as well. So there was just a lot going on, but I finally got my new car, and I'm loving it so far too. So this needs to be 5, right? Because we need to have one in the middle. Let me go double check just to make sure. So this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, okay. Yeah, but the car I got is actually a 2015 Mustang, which, if some of you guys have watched some of my older videos, like my, I think it was like one of my behind the scenes, I showed off my 2013 Mustang a little bit. Like I didn't like show you guys the inside or anything like that, but I just like showed it to you through the window. And that's just if you guys kind of kept up with my channel over the years. But yeah, so that car reached 50,000 miles, and I realized I could trade it in and get a good amount of money for it. So I did, and I got a great deal on it. So I bought a brand new 2015 Mustang. Unfortunately, it's not the GT, but you know, it's still a great car for an everyday car. Only problem with the GT is all the gas you're going to go through, also the insurance, and just different things like that. So eventually I want to get a GT, but as for now, probably gonna have to hold off on that because GTs are, as you guys know, more expensive. You know, a lot of things come into play when it comes into buying a car. But we'll probably get away from talking about cars because I'm not sure how many of you guys actually are interested in cars. That's mainly not what this channel is for. But real quick, I have been thinking about starting up a channel for like car reviews and things like that, mainly because I love cars, and I think I want to start up a channel for that as well. You know, that's still just like in beta, and like it's in my head. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it, but I might. But just like a heads up, so if you ever see something like from that in the future, you know, you probably know why. I just like cars in general, so and so I'm really happy that this update finally came out. Again, I kind of went off that, I mean, I'm not upset with it for any reason. Only thing I was just a little bit disappointed was just how light all the colors were, and I was just a little disappointed with that because the whole point of having the stained glass is it makes a big difference. Ooh, something's, oh, I think this one doesn't need to be here. I think that's what it is. Whew, I got really worried there for a second. Yeah, but it kind of sucked a little bit because, you know, this looks like regular glass. I want it to be, when I use gray stained glass or black, you can easily tell the difference. Now with some of the colors, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, like for these right here, it's pretty easy to tell which one's which. This is cyan, this is blue. But for some of the other ones, they look so similar. They're not really a dark color, which can be a little disappointing when you want to make a entire building using one color. So that's just one of those small things that, I mean, I wish I'd make it a little darker, but I'm still happy that we got it. I'm not gonna, you know, complain all too much about it because I'm still happy that we finally did get it. And then I gotta remember, where do I go from here? So then I think it's just 5. This is a pretty big building, guys, as you guys can tell. I mean, and basically it's gonna go all the way out to here. And also, I'm actually really happy with how this turn for the river right here is actually turning out. I think a lot of it's the walkway with the grass in the middle. It just adds a little bit more color to everything. But the river is just gonna take so long to actually make because it's gonna be almost like a huge ocean. Well, huge ocean, that's completely the wrong word to use for it. But it's basically going to be, what would be the best way to put it? It's going to be a very big river. I guess that might just be the best way to put it. Because it's going to be over 100 blocks wide, maybe even over 200 blocks wide. And it's going to branch off into smaller rivers and streams, things like that. So there's definitely a lot that's going to be going into it. And the hard part is going to be filling all that in, because as you guys know, water is not something that's really easy to put into a map, especially something that big of scale. So what I'm going to have to do is, actually I might have an idea for that. Actually I think I have an idea for that. Never mind. That might work if I got everything to work. It basically be like, because the hard part with putting in water, sorry that I went off on a tangent there, I just had an idea in my head. But basically what's happening is water, you want it to be flat. So basically what you have to do, especially if it's going to be that wide, is you have to make it to where you have to have like one layer on top of the water and then get rid of that bottom layer that the water was sitting on. That way the water falls and then everything's nice and smooth. Well, that's the problem. You basically have to make two layers. You have to make the layer to where the water's going to land, and then you have to make the layer to where you're going to have to get rid of it. So it's basically like a huge waste of time to an extent. So, as you guys can imagine, it's going to take a long time to do that, especially doing it by hand, which I really wish I would have waited a little bit to start the city until we had custom super flats, to an extent, mainly because now it would be so much easier, so I won't have to keep expanding it like this. But at the same time, I'm still happy I did start it, because now I do have a huge, you know, what would be the best word to use for it? A big leap forward from, like, if I just started it now with that update, you know, I don't know where I would be now, because this is actually one of my favorite series to record. It's probably my most consistent series, just because it's one of those series that I enjoy doing the most, mainly because I just like building in general. As you guys know, Minecraft Builder 92 is my name. I just like building in general. I like being creative, so that's why I think this is probably one of my most popular series and favorite series to record. It's just because it's me seeing how it progresses over time. I mean, just if you go watch episode 1 compared to now, just over the past year, it's really improved, and just with how many buildings have popped up, and it's just one of my favorite things to actually see how everything has really come together over the year, because I think I just hit a year, if I'm not mistaken, for the very first episode of SouthLake. And so some of you guys ask, why do I not put any interior into my buildings? Because basically, I get that question quite a bit, which is a reasonable question, because a lot of people are like, well, it's not really finished though, because you don't have any interior at all, and blah blah blah. Well, the reason for it is, I've said this so many times, it's just the fact that something's off. God dang it. Oh, maybe not. I just messed up right here. Okay, whew. Got really worried there. It's like, man, am I gonna have to get rid of all that? Luckily, I did not. And then start this one here. Okay, we're back on track. But the main reason is, I don't like doing interior, mainly because it's just not fun to me. Because, yes, I do want to do interior at some point, but at the moment, it's more just like, why would I want to waste my time on interior when I could make a brand new building? Because usually the way it works is, by the time I'm done with one building, I have another design stuck in my head that I want to work on. And I try to usually get that idea out of my head as quick as possible. That way I can actually, oh, what happened there? That way I can actually, you know, get it out of my head and start building it, which I like to do. So that's usually why you're not going to see too much interior until really later on. Just because, one, it's more fun for me to actually build exterior. Because interior, it's pretty monotonous too, because a lot of it's the same floor up and floor down. So that would be something if I could ever take SouthLake off of Xbox One and onto a PC, I'd probably do interior then, because of World Edit, I could just mirror things up. But as for now, you're not going to see interior for a very long time on any of these buildings. I mean, some have, you know, floors and things, but none of them really have the actual interior themselves. So, just FYI, if you are wondering why I don't do interior, that's the reason why. I've answered that question so many times. I'm still going to answer it, you know, in years to come. But I figured I'd just answer it again just for fun. So what do we do next? I think we need another 7. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and going back down. So I'm trying to think of some other things that we could talk about. So we talked about the new update a little bit and everything that was in it. If you do want to know what was exactly in the new update exactly, I did do a update overview, basically just going over everything that was added. I missed a couple things like normal crafting, like classic crafting from PC. You can now do on consoles. I can also change my game mode in game now from like creative to survival. Also, you can change your spawn point, which is actually really cool. I'm actually really happy they added that, mainly because it makes it to where you can actually do more custom games. You can say, okay, I want these people to spawn here. You don't have to worry about beds the entire time, because you can actually set spawn points for individual players as well, not just, you know, you or the entire server. But you can do one just for the server if you want, but I'm just trying to get the point across that you can do one for individual people, but also for the actual world itself. Which again, really cool that they added it. We talked about super flats a little bit, how you can customize those. And let's go back down. Oh, I will say this building took me a couple hours to actually make, mainly because like the actual design. Just because there's actually a lot that goes into it, and I'm still not even halfway done, because there's a lot of other small things I want to do. For example, if you look over here, you can kind of see how the glass changes from floor to floor, which I want to do going all the way up. It will just add a little bit more character to the building and more color, and it will kind of like make your eyes focus on that. But this is the elevator right here that I was talking about that I really do love. There's something about it that I really like how it looks with the building. Again, I got that design from Huntington, and I think it actually works really well with the building. So the only downside is I'm probably going to have another elevator on the inside that goes up to this floor, the first floor, and then have one that goes all the way up. Because as you guys can tell, the front door is right here, so the elevator can go exactly all the way down. Actually, I guess I could make it to where it could, but no, it wouldn't look right if I did. So never mind. So how much time we're at? We're at 17 minutes. So we might call it quits for this part, guys. We actually got quite a bit more done than I thought we would on the building. I know some of these parts, they don't seem like we did too much, but it kind of shows you like how long some of these buildings can take. It shows you guys the actual design without me skipping different pieces and portions of the buildings, because that's mainly what this series is for. It's mainly for you guys can watch me build and see how it is, and because a lot of people like my tutorials. That's what people usually come to my channel for. But at the same time, I want you to come to this series and see that this is not a actual like in-depth tutorial to where like I'm telling you like you have to count 5 blocks this way, you know, 6 blocks that way. I'm not doing that. I'm more just telling you and showing you the design, and then you can recreate it yourself if you want to try. Because mainly this series is just for inspiration purposes, if you want to think of it that way. It's for you guys to come to the series, see how my city's progressed over time, and try to get your own ideas for like different buildings, or just recreate the ones I've made, which can be a little bit harder, because if you're trying to recreate it exactly to scale, exactly how I did it, that can be very tough. Trust me, I've tried doing stuff like that before as well. But you can kind of get the idea of the shapes and just how different things can flow smoothly with each other. Now keep in mind, again, I am using the city texture pack, which if you're trying to recreate this building in vanilla, that might look a little bit different. So there's actually one thing I wish they would add in the next update, thinking about that now, is I wish they would add to where you can change your texture pack in game as well. I'm not sure if you could do that on console, mainly because it's a little bit different on console than it would be on PC. But it will be interesting to see if we could do that. I don't know, it's something I just thought about. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. It is greatly appreciated. So, I will see you guys next week, or, well, I guess I'll see you guys next week for SouthLake, but come back tomorrow for The Vision. So, bye-bye, guys. Thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated. So, bye-bye.